So welcome. So this video concerns installing an MTCLogic controller into a Leslie amplifier. So let's take a look. So in today's example, we'll be using an MV47 and installing it in a Leslie 47 chassis. First thing we have to do is remove that relay. We're going to remove this orange wire. We're going to cut both wires that go to the relay coil, the violet and red. And the last orange wire, we'll remove it and tape it up as it won't be used. We also have to remove any capacitors that are connected to the motor sockets. The jack on the right is the accessory, and we have the two motor jacks. And you'll notice there's a wire connected between them. That has to be removed. With that removed, we need to move that blue wire that's coming from the power transformer, and it may be on that terminal or that one, but we're going to move it over to the accessory socket. Okay, so now we have our motor sockets ready to be connected. Next step is we're going to install the MTCLogic board. So we put down our standoffs, dress the wires so that they're not in the way, and we install the board using the screw and nut that comes with it. Just finger tight. So the first thing I like to do is go ahead and connect the motor sockets first. So the two gray wires from the motor controller will go to the motor sockets. Nothing else connects to those sockets but those two gray wires. Then the orange-blue wire can be connected to the accessory socket, which is the way I did it here. And then lastly, the red-violet wires connect to the red-violet wires that we disconnected from the relay. This is a 22H chassis, and you'll notice that there's two amphenol plugs on the front. One's a male, one's a female. The female has all the connections right on the back of it, so it's actually easier on those models to connect your power wire and your control signal wires directly to that socket. So this is the board. We have a speed control that controls the slow speed. There's a stop adjustment if you have a three-way switch and you're using stop. Now there's some alternative installations. Since this board was really designed for a 47 Leslie or a 22H, electrically it's actually compatible with a lot of other models. So let's take a look at some other options. Here's an option that a customer sent in, and he mounted it on the side because in any amp that has quad outputs, there's not enough room to mount the board where the relay came from. This is a 31H. It has quite a bit more room in it, but it still doesn't have enough room where the relay is. But there's quite a bit of room in the back of the chassis. So what you can do is mount it back here. One step you'll need to make is to take that terminal strip and move it down to that screw. That's a transformer screw. So I moved it there, and I'm going to put the board in and just see if it fits. And then I'm going to mark where the hole is. Drill the hole. Put down the standoffs, and then we can mount the board there. And then we run our wires to the appropriate places. The gray wires go to the motor socket, the control wires go up to the female socket on the front of the chassis. You just match the color, and of course the power wires, same thing. That's a picture of it installed. Here's where the wires meet that female socket in the front. Now this chassis, I think this is a 46W. It has a different configuration on the back end, and there's not a way to mount this flat, but you can mount it up above. So what I did is I located where a hole could be drilled, and instead of a short bolt, we put a long bolt in, long enough to not go past the sides of the chassis, of course. And then you can mount another nut on the top of that. You can mount your board on top of that and bolt it down and wire that up. So that's an alternative. This is a 44W where we just mounted it outside. Kind of quick and easy, and you can certainly do that. So the plug and play version, this plug goes to power, always on. This plug goes to the switched outlets or the motor sockets, and your motors plug into the female. And there's not a whole lot to do with this one. We just have to make sure that that capacitor on the motor socket is removed. By the way, the one on the right stays, the one between pins 2 and 5. that stays. Some cases you're going to find another capacitor on the relay itself. That needs to be removed as well if you have that. And remember, we're using the relay in this version. Okay, so that's the installation video. Thanks for watching.